Good morning, everyone. How many of you guys know MUBI? OK. Well, we are a subscription-based video-on-demand platform, similar to Netflix. You pay a monthly fee, and you get access to our films. We focus only on cinema, only on films. The model is quite different. We just give you one film a day, and each film stays for 30 days on the platform. So there is always only 30 films that you can watch. Every day one film comes, one film goes out. So it's a curated selection of constantly changing 30 wonderful films for €8.99 a month. It is available globally. UK is our biggest territory. We are the 4th largest play in UK. Netflix, Amazon, Sky, and then us. And then a huge drop to everybody else. And we are growing really nicely now also in France, US, and Mexico. And Germany is also started to become an important place for us. Anyway, so that's MUBI. What I want to do is just talk about a little bit about our journey and share a few insights that we had along the way. Well, welcome to the revolution. Okay? Well, you're forgiven if you haven't noticed, because technology changes so fast that sometimes we don't know what's new and what's really different. Okay? But consider this. Last week, Netflix took over Disney as the most valuable entertainment company in the world, $165 billion market cap. Although Disney has more than 5 times the revenue that Netflix has. Okay? And I mean, that is insane. And is that a hype? I don't think so. The VOD, you accessing films on the TCP/IP protocol, internet, existed since 1998 for 20 years, right? The technology was there, but the real magic happens not with technological progress, but when people started to behave differently. And over the past 10 years, people are behaving very differently. Since I started this about 10 years ago, the consumer experience was when you wanted to watch a movie, you would go to the nearest Blockbuster and rent a DVD. There was not even an iPhone 10 years ago, right? And look what happened in such a short period of time. And this is just the beginning. If you look at how SVOD, subscription VOD on demand, is growing, it is the fastest growing segment of the whole home entertainment business. Okay? You see blue is Netflix and red is Amazon, and they have about 50% of the market today. But a lot of the growth is going to come from newer entrants into this business. So how are you going to participate in this enormous amount of value creation opportunity, right? We are talking about $250 billion business here with home video. It's complex. Okay? First, you need to start worrying about content. It's a very complicated industry to crack. I mean, the analogy I use is sort of like my grandparents. It's traditional, it's slow-moving, it's conservative. And it's very, very expensive, and sometimes not even rational, right? And Netflix spends about $8 billion on content this year. $8 billion. And when we started, we needed to crack this because we won't be able to raise that kind of capital, right? So I focused on independent film, and I started to want to do revenue share deals. And when you have no revenue, that's a very difficult conversation to have. But we started to crack it at some point. But then we realized, sort of 6, 7 years into our journey, that independent film is too small of a niche to really scale. Okay? 1. 2, we made the wrong assumption that content by itself is enough of a differentiation from Netflix. Right? Both assumptions are wrong. Right? Content by itself is not enough because even though you might have some content that Netflix or Amazon doesn't have today, over time they're going to have it. And they're going to outmarket you any day of the week. and it's not a long-term value creation, sustainable proposition, right? And it's super expensive to have an all-you-can-eat model. So that's why one day we came up with the model, because we asked, what is our core? And we realized we know more about movies, cinema, as MUBI, than most people in the world. And the model became a more curated model. Enough of a differentiation from Netflix. In the mind of the consumer, Netflix is this really big scale feed where you get all sorts of entertainment. But if you really like movies, you're often quite frustrated with your Netflix experience. You spend half an hour trying to find a single film you want to watch. You can't. And since then, we really started to take off. And these are some numbers that I wanted to share with you. We are now 85,000 subscribers. You do the math, 10 million annual recurring revenue, but growing really fast. I mean, we grew 45% last year. We are going to grow 80% this year. And this growth is accelerating. And we're cash flow positive, which is crazy talk in this business. I mean, because of the model that we have, so think about it. I only have 365 movies a year that I need to license instead of 10,000 titles like Netflix. And I'm negotiating only 30-day windows instead of the whole year. So instead of spending, say, $200 million in a place like UK to have a Netflix-like equivalent, you need to spend only, say, $3–4 million a year, and you can show one great big film after another, right? And I want to leave you with one sort of thought and insight on how we see this world evolving going forward, the home entertainment world. So there's going to be a number of scales. Scale feeds. These are going to be companies that is going to bring most of the entertainment that you crave for, mostly TV series, sports, kids, some movies. And they're going to try to appeal to the mainstream audience. They're going to try to get to 80% plus of the households. And there is only going to be 5 players in this space. Okay? It's Netflix, Amazon, Apple. Is really going to get into this business in a major way over the next 18 months, we think. Google is going to start getting serious about this at some point. And Disney. And that's it. Nobody else is going to be able to challenge the dominance that these 5 have and will have for very structural reasons that we can go one by one. I don't care which media company, which telco, it won't happen. Just ask Vivendi, Rakuten, Vodafone, Deutsche. I mean, it's just a very, very complex, difficult market to crack that will require tens of billions of dollars of investment. And not just that, you need to get the entire consumer experience and technology right, and only these 5 will do. Then, under that, there is going to be a social feed. Social feed is more like Snap and Facebook, shorter-term content, more ad-supported. That's not going to be a really big main business. It's going to be a lot of engagement there, and you're going to hear some cute announcements and that you're going to read on Variety that Snap is doing these series and stuff, but that is a more contextual, ad-supported, more personal feed, but it's not going to be a big business. The big business is going to be specialty feeds. Specialty feeds is you have Netflix, you have Amazon, you have most of your entertainment, but you're South Indian and you're really into Tamil films, and you're not going to get that in Netflix, because by definition, they won't be able to satisfy everyone, right? So there's going to be all these specialty feeds, anime, kids, Chinese, and MUBI is a specialty feed. And we focus on world cinema. And that business is expected to grow really significantly. So thank you very much for listening to our story, and hope you have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you.